you know, that's what I'm getting paid for, and that's something that I do like phonetics. It's a very interesting area, but hopefully it has to be applied. Otherwise, it's too theoretical, right? So we start this session for the ELT125, section 2 on October the 10th. Sorry, October the 16th, middle of October already. Thank you for letting me know you a little bit more. It's great to know a little bit more of the human being, right? Not yet just the student, because we all play roles. We are students or teachers, right? Sons, daughters, brothers, siblings, right? But we're human beings, we're people, and people who have interests, right? Who do things beyond just learning. Beyond learning something in a class. We also learn things outside in contexts that are not formal, right? Not in university classes, but we also learn when we watch a movie, when we play a video game, when we do physical exercise, when we draw. We also learn, right? So that's good. Keep learning, not necessarily from a formal context, but in your own daily routine or in your own pastimes or hobbies, right? We need to cover the elements of intonation and intonation in general. I was going to play this to Truth live, but I think the conversation with you was way more important, way more interesting. Let me know if I think we have seen some aspects of this. The intonation is important in general because it's a suprasegmental feature. Let me know if you understand the difference between segmental and suprasegmental. Is that clear for you? Yes. No. Yes. Okay. Okay. So it's often neglected. I mean, it's like teachers don't pay attention when they teach English, so they focus only on segmental features. So teach students to learn how to pronounce a, o, u, e, right, etc. The contents that we covered last semester, but don't pay much attention to suprasegmental features, which often create confusion, particularly when you're talking to native speakers, or when you are talking to other non-native speakers. For example, someone from China or someone from Russia, and they are all applying their own intonation systems onto English when they are speaking. So we Latin Americans, we speak Spanish, and we apply sometimes the intonation system that we have in Spanish onto English. For example, let's think about an expression in Spanish whenever you're talking to friends. For example, let's suppose that we're talking in Spanish, you're talking with some friends, and you tell them, I don't know, let's suppose you say, sí, po, ella. You see, that's quite common now. I mean, to hear expressions like, no sepo, no sepo. Tú sabí. We hear people, right, in Chile, of course, using these expressions, and they have a specific intonation. Let's suppose that you transfer this intonation, right, into English. And someone from Russia or from China or any other country in a different continent, they transfer their own intonation system into English. And you start talking to people, to other non-native speakers. And this is going to be quite common now. because the number of speakers who speak English and are non-natives is surpassing, is increasing, and they're way more than the native speakers of English. So there's a higher probability for you to talk to in English with someone from any other place, but an English-speaking someone coming from an English-speaking country. Okay, so that's why it's important to remember these intonation elements, not to have not to create confusions, right? Um, Almost any intonation pattern is possible, but you have to be conscious or aware that the one you use is going to convey a specific emotion, right? And we're going to learn when we deal with the functions of the intonation that you use intonation to express emotions, but also you use intonation to coordinate or organize your thoughts. If you pay attention to what I said before, you use intonation to coordinate your thoughts. To coordinate your thoughts. I made a pause, and the intonation pattern that I used was fallen intonation. Have we learned about this before? Have we learned about this before? Have we learned about this before? I'm using a rising intonation because I'm using a yes or no question. Have we learned about this before? And I'm expecting for you to say, yes, we have seen this before. No, we have not learned about this. Okay, but that's the idea. Do you know how to define what intonation is? What if I ask you, can you define intonation? What would you say?
It's like giving context to our words.
Okay, all right, good answer. Any other answer? To complement or going into a different direction?
Sorry, teacher, it's very short, but are you asking what is information, right? Well, my own words is it is how we can pronounce the word, like more high or more low.
Uh-huh, okay, yes, exactly, exactly. So it's how, right? It's how we say the words, how we say not only the words, but how we say any utterance. Uh, Utterance is a concept that we're going to use to define, to refer to anything we say. Anything we say is going to be an utterance, right? Even if it's a short thing, like, for example, um, I don't know, stop. Stop is an utterance, right? Um, could you repeat your answer? That's an utterance. Okay, so an utterance is going to be one word, one phrase, or one sentence. Anything we say can be called an utterance, right? So how we say any utterance, how we say it in terms of what kind of musical line we give this the utterance is going to be what we are going to understand by intonation. All right. If you if you remember ever watching the Peanuts, Peanuts was called Charlie Brown, Snoopy. Does it ring a bell for you? Charlie Brown, Snoopy. Have you ever do you know any of these cartoons? Snoopy, Charlie Brown, um, Liner, I think. Yes?
Yes,
No?
yes.
Oh, Okay, so there was sometimes they were at school. Sometimes their teacher was speaking, and the teacher would say, wah 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 wah, and you would not hear any words from the teacher, but you would hear just sort of a line, just with the musical line. It was like wah 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 wah. So the thing is, whenever we think of intonation, we think about a musical line. So sometimes this line could be have a falling line. For example, whenever someone is given an order, a command, right? The person is going to use a fallen intonation because the person wants the person who's given this order wants the other person to follow the order. So it's not going to use a rising intonation. Like sit down. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be sit down, or give me the pencil. No, give me the pencil. A command or an order will always have a falling intonation, not a rising intonation. Now, requests, right? Specifically, requests that are polite, right? Would always have a rising intonation. Can you pass me the salt, please? Can you close the window? All right. So intonation is this music, is the how we say things, is the music of the language, all right? Because we don't talk like that, because when we talk like that, we talk very flat. We don't speak like that, right? When we speak, there is sort of a music that comes in our words. So some people pay attention to what we say, but others pay attention to how we say it, right? How we say things. So that's what you need to pay attention to now, is how we say things and not just what we're saying. So there are certain elements when we speak that are more prominent, right? And that's at a sentence level, because before we were talking about stress. So in word stress or lexical stress, some syllables were more prominent. For example, in the word intonation, nay, right? Intonation, the third syllable, does not have the same value as any of the other syllables, right? It's the most prominent syllable of all of the four syllables. So in the same at the sentence level, there's going to be some elements that are going to be more prominent. The more prominent elements in a sentence or in an utterance are going to be the content words, noun, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs, right? But in general, also the speaker might choose not only a content word to make it more prominent, but depending on the context, might also choose to stress a function word. So it all depends on the speaker's intention, right? So intonation is about rhythm also. Rhythm and intonation are connected, because when we use intonation, we use a specific pattern that it's communicating the listener, right? What's my mood? What's my emotion about what I'm saying? For example, if I say the word really, right? Really, ask a question, and I say really. Let's say we're not having classes next week. Really? I'm expressing, I don't know, surprise. I'm expressing that I can't believe it, right? Now, if I say really, probably it's like I'm not interested, right? That piece of information is not really important or interesting for me. Now, if I say really, a full really rise and fall intonation is probably expressing, I don't know, not again. I mean, we didn't have classes last week, and next week we're not having again. So really, so intonation in one word, like really, can change the perception of what I'm saying, or you can convey lots of information to the listener. Okay, and you don't want this information to be monotonous, right? Flat, but you want to let the speaker to know which elements are the most important in what you're saying. Which elements are the most important in the message that you are conveying to the speaker, right? So this is what you're expected to convey to the listener, and you don't want to sound flat or monotonous, as Homer Simpson is saying here. Do we know? Do you have any questions so far? Do you have any comment? What else? Do you know the functions of intonation? Are you familiar with the functions? For example, the attitudinal function. Are you familiar with it?
I think in Spanish, yes, but if in English, I
Oh, sorry. I think it's my internet connection, but I didn't get it.
I guess in Spanish, yes, but I don't know what is in Spanish.
Okay, so you don't know what the attitudinal function is. Is that right? Oh, you know.
Maybe I know, but in Spanish, so I don't know.
Okay, all right, got you. So the attitudinal function is connected with the emotions or attitudes, right? Whenever you are surprised or you feel pleasure or you're angry or you want to express interest or if you're bored, right? Or if you want to be sarcastic or you want to sound serious, that's called the attitudinal function. You can express all of these feelings and emotions with intonation, right? For example, in what a fun day! I can't wait to repeat it. I can't wait to repeat it. That's basically two utterances that could have been said. What a fun day! I can't wait to repeat it. The same, you're not conveying the same emotion, you're not conveying the same idea to the listener, right? It's, also with the next one, you can have that, it's me. You can't have that, it's me. Oh, please. Oh, please. Right? So you can show you're angry or that you feel that you're not getting what you deserved, for example, using intonation, right? That's basically it, intonation. And we know this. So that's one function that is what we use intonation for, to express emotions and feelings. And it's called attitudinal function. The other function is called the grammatical function. The grammatical function. Intonation helps identify grammatical structures in speech, rather as punctuation does in writing. We use intonation to mark the beginning and end of grammatical units, such as clause and sentence, the demarcative function. We do this by tonality. We also use intonation to distinguish clause types, such as question, statement, and to disambiguate various grammatically ambiguous structures, the syntactic function. We do this mainly by tone. So the grammatical function is connected with punctuation. We mark the beginning of a structure, and we signal also when a structure is ending. Right? Just like when you are reading, when you're writing a paragraph and you're using a comma, for example, to say that you're listing, like for example, I like I don't know. Sebastian likes playing video games, comma, watching a series, comma, and doing exercise. Okay, so at any moment that I was listing, I was using a comma, and when I was using a comma, I was making a pause. And when I was listing, I would use rising intonation until the last element. That was falling intonation. Sebastian likes playing video games, watching series. Although the two elements are said with a rising intonation because I'm not done. And now I'm done. And physical exercise. So I use that falling intonation in the last one. So the grammatical function is connected with letting know the speaker which elements are going to consider thought groups or tone units. Thought groups or tone units. A thought group is one idea, right? A thought group is one idea. That's one thought group. So you make a pause because you want to let the listener to understand that this is one idea, and then the next one is another idea. So I make a pause, right? And that has to do with intonation as well. When do I pause? Right? It's also connected with organizing your thoughts so that the rest of the people can understand what you're saying. That's why I used these red bars to indicate that this was one thought group or tone unit, the grammatical function. Intonation helps identify grammatical structures in speech, rather as punctuation does in writing. So we have one thought group, this is another one, and this is another one. Okay, and intonation helps us to organize this so in terms of punctuation is very clear for the listener, right? And it's not like one single paragraph without pauses, without punctuation, without organization, basically. The next function of intonation is a focusing function, but also some authors call it accentuation. It's like you want to emphasize and to emphasize, it's not emphasized, but some sections of discourse. It's like using a flashlight, una linterna, a flashlight in a dark room. and you aim or you point the flashlight in the room. It's dark and you want to find the keys, for example. So you use this lantern or a flashlight to find the object and to highlight certain section in the room, and then another area, and then another area, searching for the lost keys. And so you are focusing on a specific area. Just exactly what intonation is with fun. I was studying phonetics. Phonetics is the focus. I was not studying grammar. I was not studying communicative competences. I was studying phonetics. So phonetics is sort of the focus, and you make it more prominent than the other elements. So that's the function of intonation, the focusing function is allowing the listener to pay attention to a specific segment of the message. Like in this post-it, when danger threatens, your children call the police. When danger threatens, your children call the police. In the second example, when danger threatens your children, call the police. When danger threatens your children, call the police. Who's calling the police in letter A? What do you think?
Children?
The kids.
Exactly, the kids, the children, that's right. And who's calling the police in the second example?
The parents.
The parents, exactly, the parents, that's right. And you are focusing on a specific element of the statement. When danger threatens, and you make a pause. When danger threatens, your intonation is arising. When danger threatens, your children call the police. Now, in the second example, when danger threatens your children, you see that the rising intonation ends up in children, and there's no pause. When danger threatens your children, you don't pause in between threatens and your. You pause when you get to children. So that is giving the listener information about which element is most prominent in this utterance, right? And the last slide that we're going to review, if Maria Fernanda, if you could read the first part, and maybe Sebastian, if you could read the second one, please. And that it could be the end of the session, right? The first half, before the break.
Okay.
Thank you.
Functions of intonation. Discourse. Intonation signals how
Yes.
intonation signals how sequences of clauses and sentences go together in a spoken discourse to contrast or to cohere.
Yes.
Okay. It functions like the division of writing text into sentences and paragraphs.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
It
Sebastian?
enables us to signal whether or not we have to come to the end of the point we are making, whether we want to keep talking or are ready to give another speaker a turn.
Excellent. So the thank you, Sebastian. The idea is right here that through the intonation, specifically with this function that intonation has cohesion to topic, intonation can help you to show the listener that you're changing the topic. So you give cohesion. It's like giving. It's like when you are using when you're working for I don't know, when you're working for school for a specific task, right? You were children and you were glue things together, right? So intonation also helps maintain using rise in intonation. If the person is using a rise in intonation, there's or is actually involving the other speaker to say something. But so that's the and we'll just see a bit of exercises writing and recitation examples. So it's not allowed a lot of practice in the whole slide. Okay, 10-minute break. I'll see you at about different time in my laptop and a different time in my cell phone. Cell phone tells me what time is it for you guys?
Teacher, you get really, really glitch. I don't know if only me, but you get really, really glitch. But the time here is 9. I don't know how to say it. 23.
9, I think 9:35. Is that right?
Yeah.
So I'll say that